People generally move from Vellore to Bangalore or Chennai, but you do the exact opposite. Spending my bachelor life in the business was very crucial. So my father used to get every single call on his personal mobile, which itself was a very big red flag for me. I didn't want to take up in that style. I basically delegated and gave them accountability. So individuals were responsible for certain things. So if it goes wrong, they are the ones who has to answer. My sales team also from zero it became one and it became two, and now I have a sales team of 3 people. Because the number of clients we catered to also was gradually increasing here. So I wanted to make everything like more digitalized and so I brought in Zoho as our ERP. Again, it's been 3 years since we have opened a Pondicherry branch. The first year, if you ask me, if I look back at it, it was a nightmare for me. The business should have the longevity. Because most of our fathers or families might have some conventional businesses. When we are young, we feel like we want to be away. But as we grow old, we feel like we want to live with our parents and everything. If somebody wants to start a business, tier 2, tier 3 places are the places, because tier 1 is already saturated. Has there ever been a moment where you doubted your decision, where you felt maybe I've taken a wrong decision here? Definitely yes. I would be lying if I say no. Hello everybody. I have a very special guest today. He's a very good friend of mine. I've known him over the past 23-24 years. We became friends when we were in LKG and we did our entire schooling together. And then even our undergraduation together. He is Pranav. Hi Pranav, thank you so much for...
Hi Rahul, pleasure to be in your show.
Thank you for taking the time to join us today. So yes Pranav, can you give us a small intro about yourself?
So yes, as you already told, we have been associated for the longest time among our school friends because we did a plus 3 years of undergrad together in Christ. So I did my BCom professional in Christ, and alongside I finished my CMA course. As you know, I'm a management accountant. So after that, I got into a company called ABB in Bangalore, and I worked as a financial analyst for 2 years. So from after that, my business journey started, and I moved back to my family business and stuff.
Okay, so that will be essentially the topic for today. How you were in a corporate life, you are in a very good job after your undergraduation. You were in Bangalore. Bangalore, we all know, is a lot of fun. You had a lot of good friends there. But then after a point of time, you worked for around 2 to 3 years, like you mentioned. But you left all the comfort of life in Bangalore, of a corporate life, and then you moved back to a city like Vellore. Vellore is a tier 2 city, but then you decided to come back. So that move was very interesting to me. People generally move from Vellore to Bangalore or Chennai, but you did the exact opposite of moving to Bangalore to Vellore. So that will be the topic for today. So maybe you can talk about why you decided to take that move first.
Firstly, so when I was like in my final year itself, like we were having these discussions in our house saying, like what am I going to do and everything. Definitely my parents wanted me to come back to Vellore, at least my mom. But in my mind, I was like, so I've done a professional course, I have a qualification, and I didn't want to go, like take it for granted and like not do anything about it. So I was like, even if I decide to come back at some point of time, I need to have some experience of myself, and so that I will have that confidence when I come back to the business.
Okay.
So I didn't want to just come as a fresher who has no work experience and doesn't know anything about an office or organization or whatever.
Okay.
So why only 2 years I worked is because I had like amazing opportunities in my work life. Like my company gave me so many opportunities. I traveled
foreign trips,
to multiple countries and everything in the span of 2 years.
2 years,
so I was actually very happy with what I was doing, and I also had a solid career plan, what I wanted to pursue if I didn't come back to business.
Okay, so at that point of time, you weren't 100% sure that you'll come back to Vellore.
No.
Okay.
It was always there in the back of my mind because my mom was telling me all that, but I was still on a 50-50 skeptical mind note to see, because I also wanted to know what exactly my dad's business was.
Okay.
I know from much since childhood I've seen him and everything, but when you're getting into the business, you need to like know more technical details and know like how much you're gonna make and like what can I do? Is there a scope for improvement and all such things?
Okay.
So as for many people, lockdown played a very crucial role in my career also. So 2020 lockdown happened. We all moved back to our hometown. We were like working from home and stuff. So was my father. So I started seeing what all is happening, what is the status of the business, and what all I can come inside and improve and all that.
Okay.
So that's when I felt that was the time for me to come back, because I didn't. Every year which I like procrastinate of not coming back, I was losing 1 year of opportunity in the business.
Right.
Because this is not like a job where no opportunity is going to wait for you. So you have to be on the field to capitalize all of it.
Okay.
So that's when I decided if I'm going to come, it's earlier the better.
Okay.
And I also had this philosophy of spending my bachelor life in the business was very crucial, because once I get married and everything, I felt like I wouldn't have the same energy which I would have at the age of 22.
Okay.
So at the age of 22, as I said, I quit my job, came back to my business March 15th, 2021.
Okay.
So that was the day I joined my father's business.
Okay. So can you talk about your business? We've been saying business. So can you briefly explain what exactly you do?
So so we supply school textbooks. It's a B2B business. Schools are our clients. So we are a distributor.
Okay.
We procure the textbooks from different publishers and supply them to the schools.
Okay. So primarily you operate in Vellore.
Yes. Our head office is in Vellore.
Okay. So when you said you're moving back to your business, right? When you were working, how did your parents react? Like, how was your father's first thoughts when you told him you're coming back?
My mother was definitely 100% happy about it because she was the one who was
motivating you to come back.
Instilling that thought in my mind from the beginning. My father was always like, he was always welcome. He didn't say like don't come, but he was like, why do you have to come? If you get a solid career, you go ahead.
Okay.
So he was also like skeptical. So I never actually took that as a negative thing. So after I saw what is happening and what is the actual scope of the business, I made myself up that okay, this is a thing which I can give my time and know it's like worth a shot.
Okay.
So that made me decide to like come back, and both my parents were like very welcoming.
Okay. So how was the transition like from your father to you taking over the business? There's usually problems which happen, right? But I think it was fairly smooth for you. So how did that transition happen for you?
That I have to give all the credits to my father for that, because he was very, very accepting, and like from initial days he gave me like control over like crucial things.
Okay.
Every decision making was involving both of us. He was never like like putting me down, or like he was never a person who didn't listen to my opinions or whatever. And slowly it started drifting towards me, and like I became like a more stronger voice there. And of course his wisdom and his experience would correct my decisions in some places if I'm wrong. So it worked as a partnership, and until date it's all fine and going very smooth.
Okay, so it's been like good 5 years since you took over the business.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has been your experience so far in this 5 years?
Initial years I was little skeptical. If I was doubting my decision, if like is this going to be a permanent thing in my life, and such all those points.
Okay.
That is mainly because, see, when we are a corporate employee, we are used to certain small comforts which gives us more satisfaction rather than coming back, moving to your hometown, living with your parents, and getting into a B2B business where it's not like an empire set for you. Like you don't come and sit on an empty chair on day one.
Okay.
You have to like earn your respect within the field.
Okay.
Because all the school principals or correspondents or whoever it is, they should know you and they should trust in you.
It's a personal relationship.
It's a personal relationship. It's always a person to person is what I believe, at least in my business. So that took a long time, and in many places you wouldn't get the respect you want. You might be the owner of the business, you might be like whatever in your mind, but
in the field you are an accomplished.
I'm like a nobody.
Yeah.
So like from there to face all those disappointments or like small insults or whatever, like you have to hear words, you have to be calm, you have to accept everything. All that, you have to like convince your ego saying this is for a larger good, it's for a bigger picture and all that.
Okay.
So initially, because like I was the only one who was like having the customer front, I was the only person who was like going for all
reaching out to
calls and everything. But currently, slowly we built a team, put up responsibilities, like gave them the task, delegate some of the work which I feel I didn't want to do and all that.
Okay.
And I changed the business to my preference and comfort, and for my satisfaction.
So one interesting which you talked about is relationships, right, with the customers, your potential customers. So like you said, establishing a relationship is very, very crucial. It isn't the same in a corporate life. So how did you adjust to it, and how did you essentially establish those relationships?
First thing I would say is any sales field, irrespective of the domain, we shouldn't overcommit or give false hopes or any such things. So our word should mean something. That's when a person will start trusting us. Say on day one, a customer asks me a requirement or a question, I shouldn't say yes for everything.
You shouldn't overcome it.
Yeah,
basically.
I shouldn't overcome it. If it is actually possible, then I have to commit. Otherwise, I should find a solution which is suitable for the requirement and I should offer them, rather than just saying yes to whatever they say.
Okay.
So when I started doing that, that's when people actually started believing in me and trusting me, and like, okay, if they come up with a problem, I can come up with a solution suitable for them. So that is what actually made me like gain the trust of my clients.
Okay, and you talked about setting up a team, right? I think previously you mentioned that before you came into your picture, your dad had a direct relationship with the customers. There wasn't a team which was working for you.
Correct.
But per what you said, you established a team. So how did you like get the idea to establish team? How did you essentially convince your dad to set up a team there?
See, first thing is work-life balance. So my father used to get every single call on his personal mobile, which itself was a very big red flag for me.
I agree,
I didn't
yeah.
want to take up in that style. No, like if I'm gonna take up after him, I'm not gonna answer every single call indirectly. It might be a small clerical kind of information which they need, for which they'll call the owner directly.
Okay.
So those were all areas where I shouldn't be
Involved directly.
So we built teams first internally, apart from the sales, like for admin, operations, warehouse, and everything. And I basically delegated and gave them accountability. So individuals were responsible for certain things. So if it goes wrong, they are the ones who has to answer.
Okay.
So like that hierarchy was created after I came.
Okay.
And my sales team also, from 0 it became 1 and it became 2, and now I have a sales team of 3 people.
Okay.
Because the number of clients we catered to also was gradually increasing year on year.
Okay.
So you need those many people to give a proper service to those clients.
Okay. So this is probably one aspect which you feel have to change when you join the business. So is there something else which you feel had to change as well after you joined? Any other aspect of the business?
Another thing was, definitely when from our father's generation, when we are taking over, they might be following certain conventional, traditional methods of bookkeeping, maintaining accounts, records, and everything.
Okay.
So I wanted to make everything like more digitalized, and so I brought in Zoho as our ERP. So we integrated so many processes within Zoho. Our business processes were, whatever the requirement was, we found a solution in Zoho, and so we made it completely digital so that anybody from anywhere can access it, and also it's more efficient. So only when you have the data, you can improve it. When you don't know what is going wrong, there's nothing you're going to do. So first you should know what's happening and what's going wrong. You need all that basic analysis of the numbers.
Okay.
And ours is a credit business, which means we sell the books first, then go and collect the money.
Okay.
So in that time, we have to be having a constant eye on our receivables, but the cash flow is very important.
Okay.
So every month we have a target for the cash flow. We have to meet that cash flow because we have to make our payments to the vendors and stuff. So for all this, we needed more structured reporting and more accountability on the software and on the team.
Okay.
So both hand in hand grew, and we're trying to solve as it goes.
Okay. So you talked about Zoho, right? I've heard a lot of people talk about Zoho. Maybe we can dive deep into Zoho and try to understand what particular softwares within Zoho that you implemented, 1 or 2 softwares which you implemented.
So I primarily use Zoho Books,
okay.
Zoho Inventory. This is like my 90% of my operations and everything happens on this.
Okay.
And apart from that, I have Zoho People and Payroll, which is for administrative.
Okay, can you talk about each software, Zoho Books and Zoho?
So Zoho Books is primarily for it's like your books of accounts.
Bookkeeping.
Okay. So you all your financial transactions, journal entries, and all that gets recorded there.
Okay.
Like the estimates, the quotations you give to your customers, and all of that gets accounted there. Zoho Inventory is 80% overlap of Zoho Books. And the extra 20% is the inventory module of it. The inventory module is actually for your stock keeping.
Okay. How many books you have currently?
So to maintain your warehouse and inventory and everything, the stock adjustment, stock keeping and everything is the 20% extra which the inventory application offers.
Okay.
So other 80% is the overlap of. So when we come to people, Zoho People is the HR application. All my employees, attendants, leave requests and their permissions and all that HR related holidays and all that.
So everything is being tracked also.
Yeah. So they have to punch their attendance every morning, which is we have a small kiosk kind of a thing where they just come, scan their face, and attendance gets.
Okay. So prior to you coming in, was this a habit, or after you came in you got this? Cool. Okay.
And payroll is of course for processing their salaries. So people in payroll are again parallelly working together.
Okay.
So all the leave data, LOP, everything gets pushed from the people application. And every month we run a payroll process.
So it's been a good 4-5 years since you joined, right? Has there ever been a moment where you doubted your decision, where you felt maybe I've taken a wrong decision here?
Definitely yes. I would be lying if I say no. Again, as I said, in the first 2 years is where all this happened. more on the first year, and gradually as time kept going, I started accepting, and I had a matured overview on those points. Again, the reason being the same. So initially, when first red flag I felt or I doubted was the decision of living in Vellore, because after living for 5 years in Bangalore independently, having all those small perks, which I today, if I look back at it, I definitely feel it's all like trivial things which we can overcome. But back then it was like a culture change, a lifestyle change,
Correct.
and you're going to live with your parents. So all of that had a greater impact on my decision making, which slowly like started coming down, and I started getting a work life balance and like accommodating all my other personal needs whenever I could.
Okay.
Second thing was the response which I got from certain clients, I would say, like, which was not very warm. I had to wait for hours in a school to meet a person. I felt my time was not valued, and all those things. So I was like, all those were the low points where I doubted whether, like, what am I doing? Like, is this the right thing and all that? But slowly, once everything, like, we delegated and got a structure. So I stopped doing those things basically. If you ask me if those things are not there right now, I wouldn't say no. It is still there, but I personally go to client place only on appointments. Currently.
Okay.
So if they give me an appointment, I go.
Okay.
So otherwise, I don't want to like waste my time going. And so you being in your head of your business, you cannot waste your time in all those areas.
You can dedicate your time to better use. Okay.
So I currently focus on the strategic areas of how to like make the existing business better, and if there's any like problem solving is needed, so my team comes to me and I solve that.
Okay. I've personally seen your growth over the past 3-4 years, and right now we've opened another branch in Pondicherry as well.
Yeah.
So many congratulations to that.
Thank
first.
you.
So why Pondicherry? Why did you select Pondicherry in particular for your expansion?
Pondicherry, two reasons. First thing, primarily 80% of the reason is that I felt there was a market gap in Pondicherry for like a very good established distributor wasn't there. So I felt like they have quite a good amount of schools and which can be catered to. So that was a first reason. Second thing also, it being only 3 hours away from Vellore, it was like more easier for me to like physically go there and like monitor it. Again, it's been 3 years since we have opened a Pondicherry branch. The first year and all, if you ask me, if I look back at it, it's still it was a nightmare for me, because you don't get good staff. They won't stay long with you.
Yeah, you're not physically present
I'm
there
not
as
physically
well.
present. I don't know what they do every day, what their intentions are. People can just while away time and not do. And when it's a new branch, they have to put more effort to get clients.
Correct. Yes.
See, here Vellore is already an established market, so we're just taking over and expanding from the base. So Pondicherry, we don't have a base. So I've invested, and my variable cost every month is I have to pay salaries, rent, and everything. So I need to have a certain amount of revenue. To feed all that.
Okay.
So in the first year, I was actually scared about whether did I make a wrong call, or will I be able to take care of it and everything. But again, slowly we got trusted employees. We retained the good ones. We gave them higher perks, more salary, and we retained them.
Okay.
So again, now there's a leadership there, so who takes care of the daily operations. I don't have to think about every day I wake up. I don't have to think about like what's happening in Pondicherry.
Okay.
And over 3 years, we have got a very good clientele. 4-5 top schools of Pondicherry are our clients right now. With immense pride, I can tell that.
Nice.
So they're also satisfied with the services and everything. So it's going good.
So how often do you travel to Pondicherry?
So ours is a seasonal business. So during our seasonal marketing requirements, it'll be like weekly once or 2 weeks once. Otherwise, monthly once is more than enough for me to visit.
Okay, interesting. So you expanded to Pondicherry now. So what would be your best case scenario after 3 to 5 years? Are you looking to expand further or expand Pondicherry?
I am already looking at a third opportunity in a place.
Okay.
So once things materialize, we will be opening a third branch.
Okay. And let's say some person who's currently working in a corporate life, he is thinking he's in a situation where you were a couple of years ago. He's a little dicey. He's not sure if he should come back to his family business or anything. So what would be 2 to 3 factors which potentially he should look at before taking a decision?
First thing I personally feel is that the business should have the longevity, because most of our fathers or families might have some conventional businesses which might not be suitable for the future. See, our fathers, when they started the business, after this 1991, that was the time everything became privatized. Everything, so many industries came in, globalization, everything happened. Every segment needed a distributor, middleman, and everything. Today, we are living in an era of Blinkit, Amazon, or whatever, e-commerce. Any middleman, any industry for that matter, middlemen are going to have a tough task because the supply chain is drastically changing. So if it is a product-based business, and a person should see the longevity of a business before making a call of whether he wants to come or not.
Okay.
Only if the business is worthwhile, and if the business can feed that person for the next 10-15 years, only then the person should think about coming back. Second thing is, initially when I came, whatever I faced, lifestyle sacrifices,
also small things, like being away from family, or the joy of being away. When we are young, we feel like we want to be away.
Yeah.
But as we grow old, we feel like we want to live with our parents and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel the earlier we make a call, it is better for the business and for the person as an individual, because you have more fire. So once you're like 10 years into a corporate life, when you're drained out and you come back, you won't have the same energy.
Correct.
You won't be the same yourself when you're 30
Correct.
compared to your 20s.
You become more comfortable also.
You become, and the risk appetite of yours also will come down
You
drastically.
have people depending on you, so you won't. Okay.
So these factors should definitely be considered before taking that call.
Okay. And one last question: what do you think about someone starting a new business? You had a different route. You had a business setup, so it was comparatively a little easier because you had your father's guidance with you. So if someone wants to start a new business in a tier 2 city like Vellore, what would be your advice to them?
If somebody wants to start a business, tier 2, tier 3 places are the places, because tier 1 is already saturated.
Okay.
You think of it, already there will be 10 other places who are implementing it. So when it comes to a tier 2, tier 3 city, definitely you can implement some of the conventional businesses which are not there in your place, but which is successfully running in other tier 1
learn
cities.
from other
Cities, saturated markets, and implement that. So that is like a more easier approach. Or if you have you are a specialist in a particular domain, or a tech or edge breaking technology, or some kind of innovation or something, definitely you can go ahead, because there is no benchmark for it. You know that that's going to solve a customer problem somewhere. So you can definitely have a faith in that concept and get into it.
Okay.
If both of these things are not there, then definitely I would suggest no, you should consider your decision, and especially not put a high investment on a conventional business setup which might not give you your expected yield. For example, say so putting up a franchisee of any clothing store, for that matter. Maybe 10 years until 10 years back, that would have been a very good opportunity. But today, if you ask me, if somebody comes and gives me an opportunity of, like, hey, say, like, do you want to open a store for a brand? Do you want to take up a franchisee? I would say no. That is because all those brands already have their online business. So I don't want to name any brands. Every brand has a website today. So like maybe for the first time they might come, they might experience the store, they might experience
check the
fit,
sizes
and everything. But the repeat customers will definitely go get it order online, and they might basically they don't have to come to a store, do all that hassle of choosing, trial, and everything, because e-commerce has taken up most of the domain. So and those businesses are high investment. Because if you want to open a franchisee of a store, you have to pay high rent, get a proper place in a main locality and everything. Correct. which is going to
high investment,
which is going to need more funds from you. So if such businesses in this age, I would definitely not get into.
Okay. So even before starting a business, you need to take a step back and try to understand all of these factors.
We should never be desperate. That is one thing I've learned in this 5 years, is that because out of desperation we might do certain things which we definitely will regret in the future.
Okay. So just because we don't like a job, it doesn't mean we have to start a business. Okay. Yes, Pranav, I think that is pretty much I wanted to cover today. Thank you for sharing all your experiences. I'm sure it will be helpul for people who are, in the dicey situation, who wants to understand how it is to operate a business in a tier 2 city. Definitely. And thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you, Rahul.